Good afternoon and good afternoon and thank you. The most important thing religion's taught us is a moral code. The sum of that code is we should not harm our neighbor. God felt not harming your neighbor was so important that he literally carved his words in stone. Additionally, legislatures set moral principles, many laws define what is wrong, so we do not harm our neighbor. My message is simple. Clearly and unambiguously declare it is wrong to harm your transgender neighbor. Some people believe the present law does that implicitly. I ask to make it explicit so judges and ordinary people are clear that it is wrong to harm people because of their gender identity or expression. As an example, the law protects sexual orientation, but everyone here has a sexual orientation. The law is intended to protect particular kinds of sexual orientation, needs to say so, and in this case it explicitly does. The law also protects gender, but everyone here has a gender also. The law is intended to protect particular kinds of gender, needs to say so, and in this case it explicitly does not. I'm sure if you were a judge defining gender, you would think it means women and men only. Why on earth would a judge think it means 3 different kinds of people? Especially since it doesn't say so. Many other cities had identical problems and corrected it without someone standing here pleading for a correction monthly for over 3 years. The gender clarification law includes all the above and says so. Your silence is a green light to discriminators who express their hate in employment. Transgender people are fired even if they do a good job. In housing, to people who are good tenants. In public services, to well-behaved and retired people. In healthcare, to the sick and transgender people injured in an accident, simply because they were born a transgender person. People are harmed for something they never asked for, and like me, many spent a virtual lifetime hoping it would go away to avoid transphobia. But nothing and no one can alter God's will. Thus our drive to pursue the gender inside us never goes away. Remove any doubt in the law and say it is wrong to harm your transgender neighbor. We know laws don't change employers and others' minds, but unless you say it is wrong to discriminate against people born with transgenderism, there is no starting point. No moral principle is a starting point for people to learn. We are simply people, just like them. Everyone has a birth variation. Our birth variations include something called transgenderism. I presented evidence to every legislator 3 years ago, and again 2 years ago, the evidence in the form of hard copies of letters from the attorneys in this county. They prove the law does not explicitly cover gender identity and expression, but could be interpreted that way. Anything is possible. I'll supply copies of the letters to any legislator that wants them. Boiled down, the majority council said we are covered in the law. The law's clause he cites mentions gender, but again, gender is not defined. The deputy county attorney simply and clearly said we are not explicitly covered in the law. When pressed to reconsider his position in view of there being a conflict, the deputy county attorney said the law could, not would, could be interpreted to include the 3 classes of people I lobby for. But you know, gender only could be interpreted as meaning men and women, which is the common usage used by nearly all people and judges. The position of all the national LGBT organization attorneys say case law always interprets gender as women and men and not transgender people or expression.
Your time has expired.
Simply put, they say we are not covered as all other people. Pass the gender clarification law and unambiguously include transgender people as all others in America's liberty and justice for all. Pass it now. Thank you for listening. I would like... Thank you.